everybody and welcome back to another Make Me Ramble. So guys, what am I going to be rambling about today? Well, I don't really know because it's a ramble. One of the things I can talk about is we're just going to go upstairs to the cave. The Cave of Wonders. No, not the Cave of Wonders, more like the Cave of Extreme Heat. Didn't really, well, it was weird because I didn't really do much work last week. I'd kind of had like a little break from it. Let's just set this tripod up here. Let's just, in fact, can I get away with just doing that? Putting that there, it's not going to fall off. No? There we go. Ah, that's better actually. Is it? No, I need to raise it up. Raise it up. Bing, hello. Right, let's get this tripod sorted out. But anyway, guys, so, fuck, it is warm. And that is one of the reasons why I didn't really do much work last week. Essentially, it was absolutely baking up in here. And it's also why I've decided to kind of turn my hobby cave into a kind of greenhouse. So, I actually have got some chili seeds growing here. Now, I went to a food festival last month and picked up some of these chili seeds. I've got some Maruga scorpions and some, the rind's a bit faded because I've put them on each side, so I needed these sticking in the ground to actually know what I was doing. So I've got some Maruga scorpions and some chocolate habaneros. Now, out of all of them, I've only got 2 seedlings. Now, I'm hoping this one is indeed that one and that one's that one, because I think I planted the seeds too far down. I'm not very good at gardening or anything plant related. In fact, these look like they could probably use a little bit more water. Do I have any water anywhere? Yes, my hobby room is a fucking state. Aha. This is what I've been using as a watering can. Way, water them seedlings. But yeah, so let's set this up on a tripod. Flip that round and let's jack this shit up. So, like I say, it's been too hot in this room to do any kind of hobbying, even with the skylight open and with my fan just on cold, blowing cold air through. It's just absolutely bonkersly hot up here. Obviously, heat rises and I've got no real ventilation in here, so it just gets horrendously hot. So much so that my green stuff actually gets very, very sticky, very, very tacky, and it becomes almost impossible to work with. So I've not really done much. I kind of had a little week off last week, but kind of, and I'll explain the kind of part now. Yeah, because it was too hot, and I thought, I'm having a little bit of burnout from the hobby, so I didn't do too many videos as well. The videos should start to resume, and hopefully this video that I'm doing now will kick the snowball off, rolling down the hill, and it'll gather more steam as it goes on over these next couple of days and weeks. So I apologise for not having any much content out last week, although the Cabot machine did get quite a lot of views, and I thank you guys for the views and comments on that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to my last video on this one and you'll see the Cabot machine. It's freaking awesome. In fact, if you've not seen it, here's a little sneaky peek of it. It's freaking massive, and I just can't wait for Elston to get his hands on it. Look at that beast. There's just guns and arms everywhere. It's so cool. I love it. But yeah, so what else was I doing last week? Well, I've got my local Games Workshop on my Facebook feed, and one of the manager of the store, who he's a really nice bloke. He asked if there was any chance if anybody could come and help paint some stuff for him. So I was like, well, I've not started my new job yet, so yeah, I can come down, no problem. So I came down, and basically I spent all of Wednesday, all of Thursday, and all of Friday there, because what he's doing, what he had me doing was, he's doing a new intro board. When you go to Games Workshop nowadays, oh, there's a little drill bit on the floor. Don't want to lose that. Ow! There's just shit everywhere. It's like leaf litter in here. Let's just move that a little bit. Can we get a bit more in this backdrop? I don't know. There we go. That'll do. With the Games Workshops in the stores, you actually get an intro table for 40k, and you also have one for Fantasy as well. Fantasy is something that I'll come on to in a little bit as well. But basically, he was ripping up the old one because it's a good 6 to 7 years old now, that, and I remember when that was first made, and it was a long time ago. It looks very nice, but the manager of the place just thought, you know, it's time for a new one. But because he's only a one-man store, he doesn't really have much time to actually do it, because he's got to be obviously be customer facing, he's got to be doing other stuff. So he's like, oh, you know, does anyone want to come in and help? So I volunteered, and I pretty much painted probably 80% of the entire board over the past couple of days. We've got some more work to do on it, and I'll probably maybe do a little bit of a video on it. I don't know, it's quite an achievement, I think. I'm painting an entire terrain board, but it's not just like the board, just the tiles, it's like all the terrain and stuff like that, and all the little details and things. Unfortunately, guys, he won't let me use my AK Interactive engine oil on it because it's a Mechanicum themed board, so it's got lots of mechanical bits, but we've made our own solution using a mixture of Nuln oil and Ardcoat from the GW range, so we kind of did our own with that, but it's just not the same, it doesn't give it the same effect. But anyway, I digress. It's looking really, really cool. It's just got loads of like Mechanicus stuff everywhere. It's got like some buildings, big landing pads and stuff, and one side of the board is pretty tall, and the other side it levels itself off and goes onto a flat area. And that was the issue with it, because what people were doing, and on the old board there was a landing pad, but because it's all glued down, because it's not meant to, the terrain's not meant to be moved around on those intro boards, people were rolling dice, and dice were getting stuck underneath the landing pad, and it's like really hard to actually get your hand in and put and like drag them out kind of thing. So new board was called for, but it looks really, really cool, and it's just something nice because I know that's going to be there for a long, long time. It's going to be there for at least 5 years plus. So I'll be able to look at that board and go, you know, every time I walk past and go, I painted that. I did most of that work on there. It's going to be so cool. But yeah, it's just been nice as well, just to have a little break from doing my own stuff, a little break from doing commissions. I've currently got no commissions on at the moment. Well, I've got one. I've got one, kind of two. I've got a. In fact, no, I'm not going to tell you guys. You have to wait for the commission time episodes to come out. But in fact, no, I can tell it. Give you a hint. I've got some more Nurgle stuff on the go, potentially. Once I do a little stock take of bits and things like that, and I've also got something Eldar coming as well. Now I don't normally do Eldar commissions, but you guys will see that in the future. What else? Yeah, so it's just nice to take a break from doing like commissions and doing my own stuff, and you know, help out the community a little bit. It's been nice to actually go into the store and just hang out there in the days, you know, rather than staring at the same four walls all the time. It gives me something else to do. It gives me a little bit of a project to work on, and like I say, I get to see like old friends and stuff that I've not seen for absolutely ages popping into the store. It's been really, really good, and also it's good to chat to some new people as well. So if you're new to the channel and you're indeed in the area where you know where I am, then you might have seen me in the store. So if you do, just pop in and say hello. It's been so much so that I've kind of it's really weird, because I've kind of become a sales tool for the manager. He's like, oh, Paul's been in this hobby since time began. Paul can tell you a thing or two, and I've been like, oh, all right, okay. I should be wearing a blue shirt, really, with GW on it. But no, in all seriousness, I wouldn't. It's one of those things, working for GW, I've toyed with the idea of it, but the thing is, I'm great on the hobby aspect of it, and great with the building, great with the, well, not great with the painting, but I'm good with the painting. You know, technical stuff I'm really, really alright at. It's just rules. And the thing is, because a lot of the times you got kids in gaming, they always turn to the manager or to the staff member of the place to help them out with rules. Now, myself, I'm not very good at that, so I would always be, oh, I'll just refer to the codex or refer to the rule book, and it's like, ugh. That's the one thing, the one downside that I would struggle with, and it's probably a case of, if I was immersed in it, I would pick up the rules like that, because I'd be hearing it every day, you know, broken bits of conversations and bits and bobs like that. So it's just one of those things. I toyed with the idea of it, but ultimately nah, because it's a bit of a trap, I think, sometimes working for GW, and if you've not got the willpower to not buy miniatures, then it's no good, because from what I'm led to believe, I think you get 50% discount on GW stuff. But what you can do is you can take, rather than paying for it after you've been paid, you can basically go, right, I want this, this, this and this, and they will just take that out of your pay packet, which isn't very good, because if it was me, I'd be like, oh my god, I would have 10 Baneblades, please. Oh my god, I'd have all this stuff. And the thing is as well, it's not like, you know, you can make your money back, because you get seriously fucked in the arse for selling it on eBay. So if I bought loads of stuff at half price, then sold it all on eBay for, you know, maybe a 10% markdown or something like that, it's just, I'd get found out straight away, and I would just get bummed up the arse, just proper full-on buggered by GW legal, which is nothing. You know, you don't want to, you don't want that to happen. You don't want to be buggered by GW legal. Those guys have got AIDS, I'm sure of it. But anyway, so I've been doing that for most of the week last week. I've been kind of like recharging, getting some ideas together and stuff. I've actually got a cool idea for a conversion that I'm going to be doing. That is going to be really, really cool. It's something that I want to do for a long time, and you guys might have seen me, you know, hinting on the Facebook as to what I might be doing and stuff, but I'm trying to wait for a specific part, specifically a specific set of legs for the model that I actually want to do. Other bits and bobs. What have I'd like to say this. It's not really been much hobby-wise. In fact, what we can do. Here's one thing that we can talk about. Here's one thing I can ramble about. The future of Warhammer Fantasy. Ooh, it's a touchy subject for some people. Now, most of you guys, if you guys have been in the stores and stuff, you'll have noticed, and probably on the website as well, I think, there's no army books for fantasy. Just these blue plaques with yeah, the Age of Sigmar is coming kind of thing on them. Now, that is getting a lot of people worried, and a lot of people are freaking the fuck out, like, oh my god, they're getting rid of fantasy, no! It's like, right, calm your tits. All of you. It's okay, everyone thinks they're getting rid of fantasy and they're turning it into 40k with everything being on circle basis. This, personally, I don't think will happen. 40k is GW's biggest grossing profit. You know, it makes the most profit for GW. Then you've got Warhammer Fantasy. Now, they're not getting rid of fantasy. They're not doing anything like that because, number one, these moulds probably cost about, well, they say they cost about $500,000 to make a mould. Now, think about it. Why would you go and bin all your moulds? Say you've got, there must be hundreds and hundreds of fantasy miniatures. Now, think how many moulds that is, think how much money that is. You're not going to go and throw that all away. You'd be an absolute retard to do this. Completely. And also, everyone's freaking out like, oh my god, they're changing it to like a full-on skirmish. No. The whole thing with fantasy is that it is different from 40k. So you've got 40k, which is, you know, it's not huge armies. It's kind of skirmish based, because you've got the circular bases, there's no unit formations. But the appeal of fantasy to a lot of people is the fact that you can, noisy car beeping, it's the fact that you can, everything ranked up and it's like proper armies and it's, you gotta play tactically. That's the appeal. Now, what, if you ask me, is what they're gonna do is they're gonna try and claw back some of the fantasy money, because a lot of people prefer the style of a skirmish game, such as myself. I don't like square bases, as you guys fucking know, because I hate the fact that you have to rank them up, and it means that you're very limited in what you can do. Now, with a skirmish-based game, that would be more appealing to me, personally, and a lot more people, because it gives you more creativity, it gives you more freedom to do what you want to do. So, by doing that, it broadens it up. Now, I think they're going to have two game modes. They're going to have skirmish mode and old school mode. And do you know what, guys? Even if they take away, you know, the whole... they won't. I highly doubt they'll take away the full-on fantasy thing. But even if they do, it's not stopping you playing the last edition. You know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. You can just modify rules if you need to, or you can just go to fan rule books, or just use the original rule book, what you've got already. Nothing stops you. Like, the GW police aren't going to come in and go, bang, you're not using the most current edition of fantasy. I'm going to bugger you up the arse. There's been a lot of buggery and a lot of arses in this video so far, I've just realised. But yeah, so I don't think they're going to drastically change it that much. I think it's going to have two game modes. It's going to be skirmish, it's going to be regular fantasy. There's also the whole rumour that, because they've taken all the army books down, there's going to be, I think it was like three big books, which could be interesting. If they don't plan on changing the rules for a long time, which they probably will change it every 6 months, knowing GW's attitude towards things now. But I think that, because they've taken all the army books down, they're either going to have a huge re-release of all the army books with the updated rules all at one time, which would be a first, and it's a very expensive move for GW to make. Alternatively, what I think they might do is release just 3 big books. So, or maybe 4. So you might have the core rules, then you'll have the forces of good, the forces of darkness, and then the forces that are neutral. So the forces that don't really fall into those two previous categories. That's what I think they might do, and that would be interesting. And then they could, and what they could do, because they could have smaller supplementary books, which is kind of like what they're doing in 40k, and this is where I think a lot of people are thinking that it's changing to 40k, but that would be better, because rather than spending 30 quid on a hardback army book, you'd only be spending 20 quid on a hardback army book. And it wouldn't be an army book, it would just be like, these are the factions, these are special characters, this and that, yada yada yada. So you could do stuff like that, which I think that would be an interesting move. Certainly there's no bad coming out of it, you know. Other things, there's new Space Marine releases. Meh, not really that mega fussed over the new Space Marine releases. It doesn't really, yeah, there's nothing really that takes me eye. There's just a bit more detailing and stuff like that. It's just meh. In fact, let's dive into the last video that I did. Hopefully, YouTube's been a bit funny recently. I don't know if it's been funny for you guys, but every time I go on my comments, it's saying that comments have been disabled on my videos, and I've not done that. And I don't know whether or not it's just because, you know, YouTube's being a shit, as it always is. But we'll see if we can find some of the comments on the previous Ramble video. Nope, not that one. Okay. And comments have been disabled for this video. Looks like we ain't doing that. Fucking YouTube, seriously. It does somewhat piss me off. Oh, that's my input on that. In fact, what you guys can come down with me whilst I go and pop this back in my display cabinet. So I'll just pick you guys up. Yeah, I was putting this guy back because I was using him for the size comparison demonstration purposes for my Kaban machine video. Speaking of which, do you guys like the intro for the Kaban machine? I had a bit of fun doing that. I thought it could, oh shit, nearly dropped him. For something so epic as the Kaban machine, it required a bit more of an epic intro, and it was just a bit of fun to do. Let me just set you guys down there. Yeah, actually, I don't know if I've ever showed you guys this. This is my display cabinet, and this was in my mum and dad's house for years, probably longer than I've been alive, basically. And yeah, we got this, and like it's been in storage for about 5 years for me, and finally got the chance to use it. Obviously, when I moved in, so I've got all my big Gribblies on the top. I've got there's my Armies on Parade medal. Got some. These are just like stuff that I've you know, I feel like I've. Can I put the light on? There we go. It's just stuff that I feel that I can, you know, put, you know, I've put a lot of effort into, and stuff that looks really, really good. Like we've got Murderfang here, looking sick as fuck as usual. We got this, and I thought this was cool because this was really well magnetised. Then this really kick-ass Terminator Rune Priest. And it's just got some cool stuff. There's my Thunderfire Cannon, my Orc Dreadball team, like I say, some of the bigger Gribblies up there, and then my Eldar now. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with these guys, because it's getting to the point now where this new job of mine isn't, well, let's put it this way, it's not starting as I'd like it to start. It's, they said, yeah, end of this month, I've just got nothing through. I keep emailing them and they're not replying to me. You know, I mean, I've had a DBS check, which is, you know, like, you know, just to make sure that I'm safe to work around kids and stuff like that, and that's all gone through. Now, that costs money, and I've not paid any money for it, so they've forked out for it. Now, they must be keeping me on for some reason, but they've just not told me anything, and I'm getting really, at the moment, because I'm in limbo, and this brings me to the Eldar thing. I'm thinking of selling them, just to get a bit of cash on the go, because yeah, I literally can't keep living in my overdraft all this time. It's just not feasible. I've tried to sell a bunch of stuff, and what I'm thinking of doing is, I recently got put in touch with somebody that can make molds. So what I'm thinking of doing, I'm thinking of making a bunch of my own like big Gribblies, you know, some of my own Nurgle stuff, and getting them moulded up and getting them cast and actually selling the reproductions of them. Now I'm gonna have to do things like this fella, which has still not been paid for yet, which is starting to annoy me slightly, where he is like literally maybe 3% GW, so this tiny bit here and this little bit down here. Now I could probably cast him up and sell him for about 30 quid each, so I'm thinking of doing stuff like that. So what I might do, I might make a bunch more Gribblies, put them as a Nurgle update rather than as commission time, because they're not for commissions. And then what I can do with them is I can then get them cast up and I can sell them just to make a bit of extra cash. Because, oh, flip the screen back around. Because I need it. Basically, I need it to survive, I need it to live, and I don't want to really give up this place because I love this house, it's brilliant. Well, what time are we on? 20 minutes. What can I really say? There's nothing much to say, guys. Oh, I have got my eye on a new tool. I can't remember who it was. It was Moggy. So obviously everyone's seen my Tamiya handy drill video, but Moggy's actually gone, it's a handy router, and what it is it's not as slow as this. It's got, I think, a little bit less torque, but it's a lot quicker. It has like a router sander part of it. Now I might have to get one of those just because they're just cool. It's like a little Star Trek phaser. Wah! It's like that. Wah! Yeah. I need to tidy up. That's one thing that I need to do, because this place is a fucking mess. A real fucking mess. And my idea of it was when I got my secondary desk, which is back there. That was, you know, if I have friends that do the hobby to come round, and you know, the idea was for them to, you know, maybe sit and do some hobby related stuff. There's another thing that I'm contemplating on selling. It's this fella here, my forge feed, because I mean, he's neutral. He's not got any real flavour of chaos attached to him. He's painted up alright. He's a little bit dusty from being on the shelf and stuff, but I've never used him, and I honestly don't know why I bought him. As I said previously, I'm glad that I have got him, because that spawned the whole Dark Mechanicus army that I'm doing. But I just don't really think I've got room for him anymore in the army, so I might sell him. How much are they, like 40 quid? I might sell them for like 35, maybe 30 or something like that, just to get a bit of extra cash. Because it's one of the things that, oh shit, falling over stuff. It's one of the things that, as I'm starting to run low on cash, I'm realising that my green stuff supply is incredibly low. Like at the moment, until my other order comes in a couple of days time, literally, this is all the green stuff I have left. And I fear that I might starve, because it is my staple diet. But yeah, so, fuck, I keep stepping on shit in this fucking room. So yeah, so there's a couple of videos coming out this week, guys. I'm slowing down the videos, just until I get a bit more cash behind me and I can buy a little bit more stuff. The Dead Zone stuff should come on. I'm waiting for, to be honest, Mr. Pidge has got a plague team. I've got a plague faction that I made him buy, and he's painting them up really nicely. So I'm going to get him on one of the Dead Zone videos that I do, and we're going to, you know, go through just what he liked about him, how he painted them, that kind of stuff. So hopefully you guys will see that, if not this week, maybe next week when I decide to film it. But other than that, guys, yeah, it's a case of I'll see you guys in the next video. It's been a blast. See you now, and goodbye.